Welcome to our site in Bad Fallingbostel. We employ 135 people here, produce roughly 130 million liters of juice a year. Our main brands are hohes, Eckes-Granini and Limo. My name is Markus Schuster. I've been at ProLeiT since 2010 and in contact with Eckes-Granini since 2013, initially working on the high-score project. We chose to work with ProLeiT in 2014 as part of the high-score project, as we'd already successfully used the LMS with ProLeiT, and we knew that ProLeiT provided or offered other systems, like the MES and PCS, for automating work processes. And following the SAP fit gap analysis, we recognized the need for an intermediate system, a system that could be tailored to align with our existing processes. At ProLeiT, we utilize our MES system and our process control system to create the link between production and the SAP system, thereby ensuring that processes can continue to run as normal. Since then, we've continuously focused on further supporting the plants through reports, data acquisition, and energy measurement. This was also a very large project, also in 2016, with various upgrades, followed by the largest to date in 2020, during which we integrated the latest version of v9.70 at the time. It also saw us introduce our new line management system, or LMS for short. This system is web-based and could then be called up from anywhere by Eckes. The greatest benefit for us of having the ProLeiT system is that we have a standardized system software that we're able to use throughout the group. For instance, here in Germany, we have 2 sites, one in ProLeiT and one in Bad Fallingbostel. We also have comparability, and like I said, the whole plant is more or less mapped in just one system, meaning that end users also only have to use one system if they want to see an overview. In other words, we don't have different systems for different plants, but just one system for the entire plant. At Eckes, data acquisition starts in our system with the arrival of the truck at the factory. We know exactly what's loaded on this truck, when it arrived, and other additional information. This information accompanies us through the plant from the very beginning. From creation to production, data is enriched throughout the process, thus ensuring that Eckes enjoys seamless traceability from the word go to the finished pallet, but can also see what has been lost in the meantime. Where do losses occur? And are they sometimes perhaps more or less? And can things be improved in certain places? The complete acquisition of data allows you to analyze and optimize your process whenever you want. In our day-to-day work, the ProLeiT system provides support for our daily production meeting and helps to make the plant transparent, as we have all the data available in real time. We have the plant statuses available to us in real time and can query them from any location, home office, mobile devices, etc. We're in fact very happy and want to stick with the solution. Digitalization starts very early on at Eckes. The entire data transfer starts in SAP and runs seamlessly across all our systems right down to production. This means that standard paper management is a thing of the past. Operators know what's to be filled and when to fill it, and the systems know as soon as it's been filled, how much was filled, when it was filled, and so much more besides. Further, the system helps us to optimize processes or detect weak points, and should a plant encounter problems, we can use the archive functions to view the history of the problems in question. We can detect the weak points, or even if we have outliers in the energy sector, we can identify them relatively quickly and eliminate them in next to no time. During the filling process, operators are guided or supported by an extensive range of tools, such as our scanner solution, which scans the batches of packaging materials such as lids, before preforming and feeding them into the machine. This basically ensures seamless traceability. The other thing, for example, a supporting tool, is the BOM check. A well-known mishap, possibly one too many zeros have been entered in the BOM, and suddenly the juice becomes a completely different one, or the juice is no longer palatable. The aim is to counteract this loss of material by performing tests before the start of production and only starting production after successful testing. We also utilize the ProLeiT system for the batch tracing of packaging materials and for audits. For example, the energy management for the EMAS audit. The topic of reporting and audits at Eckes is also largely supported by reports that are supplied directly with data from our system. Yes, ProLeiT utilizes its system to support and help us gain a good understanding of the system, to recognize the dependencies and interrelationships within the plant, and accordingly, to also be able to detect and eliminate any weak points within the plant in the event of changes to the project or the plant. The whole story is a dynamic one. We constantly experience changes, process adaptations within the system, or new customer requirements, which we then tackle promptly and obviously also map with the system. We're in constant communication with ProLeiT, partly as a result of upcoming projects or new projects. There are always new requirements, customer requirements, or changes in the process that we want to map systematically, and we have to adapt the system accordingly to these changes. Sustainability has always been a major part of Eckes. This was demonstrated in 2016 with the launch of a very large energy management project in which Eckes recorded its entire plant from start to finish, entering all energy flows in the system and then presenting these flows as part of a report. Ultimately, everything has evolved to the point where they can, for example, now directly display energy consumption per 1,000 bottles, monitor their CO2 footprint at all times, and enhance employee awareness through the use of simple tools that answer the question, what is my current energy consumption? And what is my level of energy consumption if I switch off this machine or that machine when it's not required? With the energy data and the entire ProLeiT system plus comprehensive data acquisition, I think we're also well prepared to meet future requirements such as CO2 pricing on labels, etc. And we're also well positioned to tackle new challenges effectively. We've repeatedly opted for ProLeiT when carrying out new projects because we've been very satisfied with ProLeiT and the very high level of integration that we now have. We've already mapped the entire plant within the system and are therefore continuing with this system, as it makes no sense to introduce a second or third system at this stage. We're trying to integrate everything into one system, which is working wonderfully at the moment. We're very satisfied with our long-standing cooperation with ProLeiT. We've developed a very good natural understanding of the processes, which I believe is extremely valuable for future projects and changes to the system. And everything is working just fine.